Little cover stories.
Tithi's eyes stopped on the old photograph of her grandfather. On the back were 4 words: "Last train, platform 4." Tithi read the words again. Platform 4. She decided she would find platform 4. Tithi went straight to her mother. Maybe she would recognize the place. Mom studied the photograph for a long moment, but she looked puzzled too.
I don't know either, Tithi. I've never seen this place.
She remembered how much Grandpa loved mountain trains. Grandpa used to tell her stories about old railway lines and mountain trains for hours. Now the photograph felt different. Tithi thought Grandpa had known something about this train. Maybe platform 4 was the unfinished story Grandpa had left behind. Tithi decided she wasn't going to wait for someone else to find the answer. She packed the photograph, Grandpa's notebook, and the map. And then she set out to find platform 4. First, Tithi reached the real station and began comparing everything with the photograph. She carefully checked the pillars, roof, and even the old stones. But the platform in the photograph wasn't here. Tithi checked the platform numbers one by one. The numbers continued, but there was no 4. The place in the photograph seemed to have vanished from the station. Now she knew it. Platform 4 had existed, and then it had disappeared. Then an elderly railway caretaker noticed the photograph in Tithi's hands. He suddenly stopped, and his eyes fixed on the train. "This train," he said quietly. "I know it." Tithi realized she may have finally found someone who knew the truth. Mr. Sen told Tithi that the train really did run on this mountain line. Its old number was simply 7. The train was no longer just a mystery. It had an identity. Tithi had one new question. Where did that old railway line lead?
So where is platform 4?
Tithi asked immediately. But Mr. Sen didn't give her a direct answer. Everything has its right moment. Arrive too early and you may find nothing at all. Mr. Sen took an old brass railway token from his bag. "Your grandfather used to have this." Tithi stared at the token. This mystery wasn't just about the train anymore. It involved Grandpa too.
Why did Grandpa keep this?
Tithi asked immediately. "Everything has its right moment," Mr. Sen said. "Rush it and you may find nothing at all." The token led her to the old railway records room. Among the old papers, she felt as if a trace of platform 4 was waiting to be found. Then she found an old timetable, and beside one entry was marked P4. If P4 really meant platform 4, this map might lead her to it. Near the map, she found an old station bell too. The bell wasn't alone. Someone had carefully preserved many pieces of the old railway. Then she found another photograph. This one showed only the mountains and the old railway line. One mountain bend and one old railway curve matched in both images. But now, Tithi was rushing, pulling one file after another. When the papers fell, Tithi froze. She might have damaged something important. As she lifted the map, part of it tore. Tithi realized that rushing had given her another problem instead of an answer. Then Mr. Sen showed her another photograph of that same mysterious carriage. Tithi compared the two photographs. Now, the bigger question wasn't the platform, it was the carriage. People remembered this carriage differently. No one knew the truth about its final journey. Then she found another photograph of Grandpa, exactly 1 year later. I knew your grandfather when he was even younger than you. I was there on that final journey, Mr. Sen said. Back then, this little railway was a lifeline for the hill villages. Then, a terrible landslide blocked the road. Within days, contaminated water made several villagers sick. Grandpa's mother was getting worse. The doctor and medicine were stranded beyond the mountain. Then the last working train left for the village, carrying the doctor and medicine. The train arrived in time. The doctor and medicine saved several lives, including Grandpa's mother. Later, the government shut the little railway down. It was considered too costly to keep. The carriage that had saved the village was now marked for scrap. But the railway worker refused to let the carriage become scrap. They hid the one carriage and promised to keep it safe. When he grew old, Grandpa took over the promise. Tithi realized Grandpa had returned every year to keep that promise. I was there too, Mr. Sen said. I helped your grandfather and the railway worker hide the carriage.
Then take me to the carriage.
Tithi said. It isn't here anymore, Mr. Sen replied. After Grandpa died, the railway found the carriage and removed it. Now Tithi wasn't chasing a mystery. She was trying to save the carriage. An old record gave them a new location, a railway storage yard. Now Tithi and Mr. Sen followed the old route, searching for the carriage. Then, below the hill, they spotted the railway storage yard. The yard was filled with old carriages and railway equipment. Tithi searched every row. And then, the same blue and cream carriage was right in front of her. But a scrap contractor was already there beside the carriage. It's abandoned scrap, the contractor said. It's being removed today.
This isn't scrap. This carriage once saved our village. This carriage carried the doctor and medicine, and it saved lives.
I was there, Sen said. I saw what this carriage could do.
Forget the story, and it becomes nothing but old metal.
The contractor put his tools down. For now, the carriage was safe. Grandpa wasn't leaving the carriage. He was leaving the reason it mattered.
If I had rushed, I might have found only the carriage. Waiting revealed its story. Grandpa was right. Some answers need patience. And before calling something old and useless, we should learn its story.
Be patient with every answer and preserve the stories held by old things.